Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your hood. I am absolutely Adia,
I'm your girl Ashley Nicole.
I am the franchise.
And I'm Petrie.
and we are the Quad.
Yes, how are you guys doing this evening? I am excited about tonight. We have the lovely Miss Idaysia Jackson in the building. Flint, Michigan's on. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
honey?
excellent. Good to have you here. Always a blessing.
Glad to be here.
Of course. I want to hop in right now. We are going to give the people a little bit about who you are. I want to speak on your brand. We have a lot of fashion lovers out here in the world. I myself, all types of fashion, love it. I originally met Idaysia. We were in a fashion show, a charity fashion show in February. Never met each other prior to then, but it was definitely like, just seeing a sister again after a vacation. So going into that, starting there with the connection, your love for fashion. Tell us a little bit about, where you drew your inspiration from and, your journey.
Well, it started off after graduation. I wanted to become a police officer, and I had met this DJ at the time. His name was DJ Chose.
Okay.
And he said, "Hey, man, like I like the way you dress, and I'm like, I do a little something, So he was like, how would you feel about, styling me for like a little show, And I'm about 18 at the time,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll do it or whatever like that. And he never wore a pair of Timberlands before.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? And where I'm from, the North, that's what we rock. Timberlands, Pellies, And I remember just styling him. He loved it. And like a year later, he was working on a project with Akon in California. And he called me like, hey, I want to come fly you out so you can style me. And I'm like, boy, I'm like, like what I did for you, that was just like some little play around, in the country. We in the country. So I was like, hey, you working with who? And you want me to? I said, I have a job. I just can't get up and leave. And then he just like gave me like this long speech, like, no, like you need to go for it. You can do it. I saw it from you in day one, starting you from day one. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So after the conversation, I went and laid on my mother's chest. And I was just like, God, just send me a sign that it's for me,
Yeah, for sure.
And I laid on her chest, and I remember it was just like a light. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I jumped up. My mom was like, what's going on? What are you so excited for? I'm like, listen, I'm going into styling. And she was just like, go for it. You can do it. Like, ever since she was a little girl, wearing my heels, wearing your grandmother heels, big church hats, like, And I remember taking my test for the Dallas PD, and I got to the top 5, and then I had to take another test and got to the top 2. And I didn't end up getting a position. And I was just like, that was just a sign. I made it so far to the top 2.
Right.
Right. And I just been on this fashion journey ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. So you said you're from the North. Where are you from?
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan. Okay. So as far as being in fashion, like I look at fashion stylists, people like you as artists, really.
Correct.
I mean, you see yourself that way, don't
Correct.
you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So how does that impact? Like, how does being a stylist in fashion impact just your lens and how you see the world?
Beautiful, free, change, a big change, because that's what we need right now. We need change. And I feel like that's where, I come in as my series with the homeless. I actually want to transform, people that's, in poverty that feel like they want to give up. They don't know where to go, because I'm the type of person, when I get dressed in the morning, no matter if I had a bad day, no matter what's going on, once I get myself up and get dressed and throwing a little something, I'm feeling good. Like I feel like I can conquer the world, and I just feel like that change is needed. Like people need to embrace themselves and get up, Yes, we get knocked down, but get back up, get beautified, change your hair.
Yeah.
Nice haircut, Ashley.
Thank you,
I love
girl.
it.
I was gonna say something.
Yes.
Hey,
Change
now.
is good,
Yeah.
baby.
It
Change
is.
good.
Yeah.
Now, there's a quote in your bio that says that fashion inspired you to want more out of life. Can you explain and go deeper into that?
Growing up in Flint, Michigan, just my surroundings, growing up, no one never wanted to, go far in life. They never wanted to go outside the city. They never wanted to. They were just like, Flint, Michigan is kind of like stuck in their ways a little bit. They're used to what they know. They're used to their surroundings. And, being there for so long, I left when I was 16, but it was just like I can't do this, man. Like, how y'all just stuck right here? Like, I know it's more to life. Like, it's more to this. And fashion was kind of, like I said, the colors, the fabric, everything just about clothing, about style, about creativity. It inspired me to want to do more and just to see the world and just go out and do more, to not be stuck.
Exactly. So with building your brand, and as young as you are, I won't tell nobody your age. We're gonna leave that confidential. But of course there are difficulties. And again, going back to your aspirations, how are you now, and even with your start, working through the difficulties or the obstacles that you may face, whether it's a fear of styling different individuals, going to a higher level, what do you draw from to just give you that extra push?
God.
Exactly.
God. There's nothing more to that. Like, every day that I get up, thank you, God, break it. Right. Break every chain, break every anxiety, break every fear, and with that, it only takes a mustard seed of faith, and that's what I'm holding on. That's what gets me through those tough and challenging times.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Now, can you walk us through your styling process from the time that you take on a client and how you go about figuring out the right look for them?
Well, first, a lot of people email me, they text me, write me on social media, and the first thing that I have to do is I have to sit with you face to face.
Consultation.
I have to get your vibe. I have to hold a conversation with you. I have to just feel you out all the way, before any business is conducted. Then I like to show that person 3 different pictures of different types of dresses, different type of pants, different type of fabric, and just get a feel on where they want to go, because I'm the type of person to where I'm very stern. And I used to be very closed-minded, but going into fashion and going as becoming a stylist, you have to be open-minded. And that's one of the challenges that I really had to get over as being open-minded, because for a long time I was stuck in my ways simply because it's like, I know what I like, you know, and like, you should like it too. Like, girl, I ain't gonna steer you wrong. Like, trust me. Like, you say you trust me, but at the same time, it's their look, Right. And so, just, conversation and, I always pray with them also to see, kind of where they're headed, where their beliefs at, and, all that just comes into play with creating their style, how, what's their favorite colors, all of it.
Now, you being in fashion, as far as your creative thought and stuff like that, I see that you always touch on that. Now, as far as, like analyzing the Kanye West situation, as far as him being in fashion, what do you think that by him trying to get that validation from those companies instead of branching off on his own, do you think, could it be a way for you to just branch on your own and do your own thing? Or you think that you can go to Louis Vuitton and come up with a proposal to, I want to branch on to what y'all have?
I think both.
Right.
I think I have the confidence enough to go to anybody and make my proposal, and just have the faith and trust that if it's for me, if it's meant for me, it'll be for me. So,
now, I understand what you're saying. Just considering yourself an asset to any brand.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Your spirituality, how does that affect or impact the way that you work? Because I know for myself, being from the South, but being big on like morals and values and coming into industries where a lot of these people are atheists or don't even believe in God, like how does that impact you?
Well, man, it's challenging. Like, it's challenging, but at the same time, I know how to say no. I know how to walk away. I know how to turn down proposals, and if the vibe and the energy is not right, then, it's not for me. And I want to leave, with love, happiness, and peace whoever I'm working with that don't have the similar beliefs or, you know, and it's so hard for women, you know, like me and as my age, because I have worked with a lot of people, a lot of men, older men, and it's been hard, it's been challenging, you know, getting my brand off the ground, because it'll start off as business, and then after communicating and meeting, they begin to want more. And it's like, no, this is business. There's no pleasure in this. And then a lot of, oh, well, I don't want to work with you anymore. You can't do this. And hey, that's okay, you know, because I'm not going to sell myself short, you know. And I feel like that's why I encourage so many young women and women in general, you know, you don't ever sell yourself short, you know, especially not to get a promotion or to work with anybody. It's not worth it. More opportunities will come around, you know. Just because you were denied that time, God is going to turn it around and approve you for something greater and bigger, you know. And that's just my beliefs on that. But yes, it has been hard with that on, you know, just being a beautiful woman, and men are
easy now. You got a few of them.
Well, some men. Even women though. Even women, like, you know.
These days.
Yeah, you have to, you know, it goes both ways.
Coming
It goes truly both ways. Like,
okay, I have a question for you. So, my philosophy is of life, period, is just that there's a lot to learn in challenges, a lot to learn in failure. There's a lot of lessons. So talk to us about situations where you've worked with clients or you've worked on projects and they didn't quite come out the way that you envisioned, and then what you took from that.
I have a funny one. So back to the my first, he's like a best friend to me. So once he hear this, he's gonna crack up. But a couple months ago, he called me up. Hey, I need you for a boat party. And he just went platinum. He's the producer behind NBA Young Boy, and he has worked with a lot of people in the industry. But he called me like, I need you to come style me for a boat party. I said, okay, Chose, anything for you. So I pick out this perfect outfit, and he wants to wear Nike socks with him. I said, oh, no. Like, Nike socks? Come on, man. Like, no. He like, well, I don't like my ankles. I'm like, come on, embrace your ankles. They sexy. You know, I'm trying to, they sexy. Like, when you step on that boat,
you was on the upper echelon.
Okay, put some loafers on.
Yes, them girls is going to go crazy over them legs. You've been working out. You've been in the gym.
Yeah.
But, and we were like at the mall. They probably thought we was married. Like, I'm like, you're not wearing no Nike socks with this. Like, going back and forth, but, you know, all in
Sometimes
love.
Nike socks are comfortable, though.
Oh,
Especially
no.
in shoes like this.
Not yacht attire.
But if y'all see the outfit was just so, it was so nice. Like, but long story short, he ends up wearing the Nike socks.
Told you they were
I'm
comfortable.
asleep. I get a ding, ding, ding. I looks on Instagram. I said, oh, he done wore these Nike socks. But we end up talking about it. And I was like, you know what, Norman? Well, DJ Chose, thank you for wearing them socks. Because like I said, I have always been so closed-minded. That opened me up to, you know, to be more open-minded with things. You know, like, I can always have my way, you know, and that was just a big challenge for me to get over, to see him go against, because I'm so used to getting my way.
Right.
And once he was like, no, I said, I'm going to wear these Nike socks. I'm going to wear these Nike socks. And he did. And I was like, you know what? As I stepped back, thank you for doing that. You know, like, thank you for not giving me what I wanted, you know, and that just made me just like love him and grow him more, because at the same time, like I said, you know, everything ain't always going to be Idaysia way, you know, and working with people, you know.
That's awesome. So, did he have on Nike shoes at least?
No, he had on Reebok.
Oh, man, you can't do that.
And you know, it's good that you brought that up. It's good that you brought that up with being open-minded. Who are some of your favorite designers, or what are your favorite brands that you go to, or what would you describe your style as?
Well, my favorite designer is Donatella Versace. Yeah. I love her. Donatella. Like, oh my goodness.
Love Donatella.
I love her, you know, just because, you know, she's so open-minded, you know, and it's just, you know, from her, you know, worshiping Naomi Campbell, like, just did a collab with 2 Chainz, you know, like, she's just an amazing all-around person, you know, so I really look up to her. I look up to June Ambrose. You know, she was the first person to put Diddy in a Tom Ford suit.
Right.
Now he got a song, Tom
Ford.
Ford. Hey, so, you know, I just look at that EJ King, Chris Brown stylist. And, you know, it's kind of crazy that I pray for these people. Like, one day, God, you gonna allow me to meet them. You know, like, and I just can't wait to one day collab with them, work with them, because they are truly people who I look up to.
Awesome. Well, if you are just tuning in, we are sitting with the lovely Idaysia Jackson. She's a fashion wardrobe stylist. Before we go into our next segment, go ahead and give us your social media outlets where they can follow you and continue on with your journey with you.
Okay, you can follow me on Facebook at IdaysiaJackson.com. That's IDAYSIAJackson. You can follow me on Instagram at Idaysia M. IDAYSIAM.
And she has some super dope
Yes.
looks on that Instagram.
So go get some inspiration.
Like,
go get some life on her
I
page.
screenshotted like 3 of them.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's your girl Ashley Nicole. We'll be back soon.